It is.
I had -12, but.
We stand and say the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I see no public today. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes dated March 14th? Motion by Carter, second by
I'll second.
Stecker. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Unanimous. Discussion to and decision to review and approve claims and conservation claims. You had them on the iPad. Everybody had a chance to look at them. Anything, anybody have any irregularities?
I had a question, just I didn't know what it was, trying to find it here. It was on, towards the bottom. Gardner, what is Gardner Thompson?
That's our auditing firm.
Oh, that's, okay,
Yeah. That's the company name.
okay.
Anything else? Do I have a motion to approve the claims and conservation claims?
So moved.
Mr. Stecker moves to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Wactor. Any comments on them? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. It is the 21st today.
It is.
All day
How
long.
come that was all turned ahead of time?
You wanna sign it, or just
Oh.
stamp it?
I'll just stamp the heck out of it.
That'll work.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can keep it.
No, that's fine. I have a red one, but I didn't wanna sign it right.
No,
No.
I got another one here. It says Bolton and Maine. This one says I want a PD. That was Dan this morning.
Good.
Good.
Very good.
So you Irish, that you celebrated then,
Well, I'm more Scottish than I am Irish, so you had a Scotsman at an Irish place, and back in the day, that didn't go over so well, but I did well for the home team, so.
There you go.
or? Yeah, Dan, go ahead.
Okay, well, just some updated metrics for the month of February for my department. We had 48 phone calls and 66 messages. We had 50 walk-ins, 30 scheduled appointments. One of those outside the office, I did a home appointment. We did 3 transports, and for some odd reason, we had a run on getting hearing aids repaired, 8 of them for the month. Currently in my system, what I'm tracking is 1,132 records so far. I usually add about between 2 and 5 a week, or thereabouts. Number of claims that are in the system to VA right now is 48. 6 are ready for decision. I keep checking those daily. Number of claims under development, which I'm currently working on, is 8. I'm in the process of 2 supplemental claims and appeals, and we had 2 VA healthcare enrollments. And then insofar as training, I am reserved for our spring conference in Des Moines. That'll be at the Holiday Inn down by the airport this year as opposed to Embassy Suites. We also have some new CVSO training coming up that is also falling in line with our spring conference. Reserved for the national conference out in Wisconsin. That'll be in Madison in June. and then working to develop the agenda for the spring training for the new CVSOs. As far as outreach, been working with our commissioners, going to do a Veterans Information Night at the Summit Center in Bancroft, April 6th. And we're gonna do one session from 2 to 3 and another one from 6 to 7. And it's just gonna be a basic overview and update on the PACT Act with all those changes as it applies to the different generation of veterans, and then a little bit of information on the VA healthcare enrollment and encouragement to do so. Still working with the Iowa Workforce Development on the Veteran Military Appreciation Day in Spencer. That'll be held on June 17th. We have another meeting, I think, in April. I'm just waiting for the agenda. Continuing to develop the PSA and the ads for commissioner selection. The goal in working with the commissioners is to advertise April and May, do the selection interview in June, do the swearing in and on board in July is kind of the time frame that they wanted to go with. Did provide a couple handouts, just wanted to kind of show you this weekly report for the PACT Act. This is something that National puts out. Interestingly to note, I don't think they were quite as prepared for this as far as VA. There's an 83,531 claim backlog,
Wow.
of which 3,491 of that is Iowa's. So things have really picked up under that recent legislation that was signed by the president. And then I also just provided you a 2022 National Veteran Suicide Prevention Annual Report. Mental health is getting a lot of attention in the VA circles. And right now there were 6,146 vet suicides for 2020. Now that's actually down 343 from 2019. So it's trending down, but VA also recognizes that there's a lot of more work to do. And I see a lot of that in some of my claims, especially with our younger veterans that are suffering from PTS. But the trend is going down, and that's what they're looking for, so that's a good thing. The other thing was I just provided you a emergency treatment kind of a flyer that I've been handing out to veterans. So if I have veterans that are enrolled in VA healthcare and they're fully vested, if they have an emergency medically and they need to be seen by a hospital locally and being treated in a civilian facility, this kind of walks the dog, if you will, by calling a hotline number. And what this does is it triggers action for consideration of payment by VA to help with some of those costs. And so I'm trying to push that out there to make sure that the veterans are aware of it. I know our regional hospital is aware of it. They've actually got it posted in their emergency room. The community process excellence folks out there and the billing folks are getting a lot better at understanding the various levels of care that are paid for by VA. So we're making some headway in that regard. Subject to your questions, that's all I've got. Gonna start picking up a little bit more now that the weather's getting nice and vets are getting out. So that's what I got going on.
Nice.
Thank you.
Do you have any like, information or handouts or whatever for your outreach activity? Like
I do, I just have to print them off.
Okay.
There are several flyers and what VA has done, because PACT Act covers a lot of ground. So they made some flyers that said, okay, if you're of the Vietnam War era, here's how you're affected by this. If you're a Persian Gulf veteran, here's how you're affected by this. And so there's different flyers, and I'm looking at printing about 20 to 25 of each of those to be able to hand out. And then I'll be taking my appointment book with me.
Okay.
And then that way, if the veteran on site says, hey, I'd like to set an appointment, come down and see you next week, we can get it captured and go ahead and get that taken care of, so.
If you think of it when you're printing them out, if you wanna send them to us in an email, cause I could maybe put some of that on Facebook and stuff too.
Oh, awesome, okay, yeah, absolutely, you bet, you bet. There's about 3 or 4 of them.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay,
And
sounds
Dan, if you
good.
wanna put some on the counter out here underneath the bulletin board, feel free to do that too. I
Oh,
think there's some
okay.
slots available there
Okay.
too.
All right, will do, you bet. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks,
Have a
Dan.
good week.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is to approve the certificate of payment for the retainage of the courthouse roof project.
I asked Will to come in case you had any questions. You should have all the information in your packets.
Engineer walked it and looks like he said everything's good. We've had no issues at all, have we?
None.
So I did wanna talk to you a little bit about when this project was approved by ARPA. The only information that was given to ARPA for approval was the actual roof project, not the engineering costs. So ARPA approved the 186,000, but ARPA did not know about the engineering costs. Some of the engineering costs have been paid out of ARPA, which is fine. So, what I want to know from you guys is if you want me to take the remainder of that amount out of our building project fund, regular, which we have plenty of money in there, or if you want me to present that amount back to ARPA, which we're gonna be close on whether or not we have enough funds or not, to see if they'll approve that additional amount as well.
I would say just take it out of the
Building
building.
fund,
Yeah.
and that's kinda where I was leaning, but I just kinda wanted to.
Do we need to update the resolution for this stuff to get the stuff that's already been paid for?
Yes, so what we'll probably do is just have another resolution that adds that amount in so that there's no issues in what it's been paid for.
Okay,
And the amount won't change, it'll still be the same amount, but just so there's no issues.
yeah,
Not to exceed 19,500.
But that wasn't in the resolution, the resolution
Okay.
only addressed the rough costs, not the architect costs, so.
do we know what our total architect costs are? Cause I know I saw that 19.5 in the thing.
Yeah,
Only, what, 1,200 on that 19.5 roughly?
yeah, it's not even close to the 19.
There was some, extras on some of the page, she has the paperwork, he sent it to us.
Okay,
But it's not even close to the 19, I don't believe, is it?
I thought so, I thought it was 19.5 plus the 1,200.
So that'd be over it.
There's something about billables, it's on that page.
I didn't think it was over.
Okay, it might not be, maybe.
Well,
my-
there was- I know there was other stuff listed in there, that they could charge for on top of that, if I remember right with that 19.
well, it
What
said
page
not
was
to
that
exceed
on?
19, so I'm assuming,
What page was that on?
I think it's the last
there's no
page.
page number
Yeah,
on it,
that's the last one.
yeah. So that makes me assume that it's less than 19,500.
Well, and those are paid, right?
Yeah,
That's
you're paid
up to date, we don't have
Okay.
anything
We
left
don't
to
owe
pay
that
on
nothing,
that.
we just
So-
owe the retainage
yeah.
to the roof company,
Right.
and that's where
Okay.
the difference comes in. We have
Right.
like, I think it's 6,000, or less than 6,000 left in the ARPA fund, and we need like a 3,000 something
Yeah,
to come out of building improvement to just pay off the roof project.
Under their fine print section, it says reproduction and distribution costs associated with bidding documents are not covered in the proposed not to exceed amount and would be billed at actual cost to produce, so that'd be the extra potentially. I knew I saw something else that was on top of that, but
you're gonna have to come back and have the board approve it then.
The resolution, yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I just wanted to touch base with you
Yeah.
and see if you were okay with that before I did that, so.
Yeah. Just put it on the agenda and we'll approve it and have
Okay.
it come out of the building fund.
Okay,
Thank you, Willie.
Sure.
but I do need you to either approve or disapprove the
Yep.
retainage, okay?
We're gonna get there.
Okay,
Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of payment for the retainage of the courthouse roof, which is $9,332.95? Jack? Do I have a second?
Second.
Carter? Any more discussion? Seeing none, do a roll call vote, please.
Plath,
Yes.
Nat,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Stecker,
yes.
Jerks,
Yes.
That's the first
Motion.
time in a long time I got to call everybody's name.
Motion carried unanimous. Okay, we have a discussion decision to approve resolution 3/21/2301, which is a resolution setting the wage schedule for Cassuth County employees.
I sent you an email this morning, asking if we could postpone that. Ehlers and Cooney is still working on that resolution.
Is
It's
it?
not quite done. So, we are asking to put that on the agenda for next week.
You sent an email this morning,
I
Lance?
didn't
I did.
get it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it
You
yet.
didn't?
That's- Well, I didn't look at
Well, I
emails
sent it
this
to
morning.
all users. You should be in all users, are you not?
Well, there's
Oh.
one came, you sent one.
I have that
separate.
separated out
Budget.
into a different
The
folder,
one you
so,
said the
yeah,
budget
I got it
changed.
now that you said that.
Yeah, nope, I sent one to all users.
Let's say I got it, so.
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, and then here's the other one.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
good.
I separate them out.
I didn't get it, so I must not be in that all users.
Users, okay, I'll
I
have
didn't
to,
get it either.
okay, I'll have to check on that.
Derek probably
Yeah,
Derek.
doesn't.
it's 7:24.
I didn't get it either.
You should get it,
You probably
I
did.
got budget.
right
Board of
there.
Supervisors,
Oh, there it is.
yeah.
You
I,
sent two
Yeah,
I did,
today.
well, I had seen you sent the one on budget at 7:30.
Well, you can tell I didn't open it.
that's okay. So anyway, yes,
Okay.
that, if it's, possible, we'll push that back to next week.
It is, let the agenda show that that's moved to next week.
Okay.
Or the minutes, excuse me.
Okay.
We are up to discussion and appoint Cassuth County EMS member.
I got
You
them
here
on
for
the
this?
agenda, Phil's here for that too, I think, but yeah, I talked to Bill Smith, and he's willing to serve, and we have a at-large seat that's available, so I think he'd be well suited to fill that role, so I'd make a motion to appoint him as a member for the EMS board.
So if we're gonna appoint members for the board, we should appoint the Algona and the Sway City member at the same time.
They're part of the bylaws that they're appointed by the city, right?
Yeah, but it says with approval of the board of supervisors.
Okay, yeah, we could do that too.
So is he,
Did Soy City finalize theirs,
They
or make
picked-
a choice?
They picked two, so I don't know how you wanna handle that.
Did they designate a primary and an
No, they just
alternate?
picked two, saying they had one vote.
said you brought this to the EMS board?
Not the individual to the board, no, that's our decision here. But, I had talked to Bill and I had
Just
reached
found
out
this out this morning before I come in, so.
for Soy
Sway City one,
Cities.
So, we haven't even had a chance to discuss that, so I don't know how you wanna do that one.
I don't know, do we,
It's something we need to postpone again until.
well, that one, I
Well,
mean, we
we
probably
can
won't
do
be able
this
to.
one, but the next one, I would say, have a discussion with them, and since there's two of them, have them figure out who would be the delegate and the alternate, and then,
Right, they just need to have a primary and
Yeah.
alternate.
yep. And
I
then
guess we
bring
could
that
do
next
Algona's too, cause theirs is
Theirs is
done, so,
Okay,
and theirs is Jacob Jaden. So, we could include that too,
Today?
Yeah.
if you guys are okay with it, yeah,
on the same motion.
yeah, on the same motion would be fine,
We're approving Algona and the at-large,
yep. And then
but not Sway City yet.
Soy City, we would wait for clarification on primary or alternate.
So in your motion, you wanna
The agenda
approve
says an individual, it has one name on there.
Bill
No,
Smith?
it says appoint EMS member.
Why don't we have a second to the motion and then
You're saying you
discussion?
wanna appoint two people.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Mr. Wactor, thank you.
So
Now
none of
discussion.
the other seats have a delegate. They're all just appointed members, so.
Well, yeah, and,
I know
I
that's
mean-
not part of your motion, but that's a discussion later, so.
well, I don't have an issue with Soy City having two people as far as they're concerned, but
What are
they're
your-
still only gonna have one vote, so,
Does it say, what do your bylaws say on that for,
It just says that the city councils shall appoint their representative.
yeah. We could tell them just to pick one, call it a day. But I guess I don't have an issue with them having an alternate if someone can't make it, so.
I think that'd be beneficial to have one selected as primary and one as the delegate. Because that would count as their one representative.
Well, you would have to have that if you had two, or we just say there's only one.
Unless you change your bylaws, you can only have one voting delegate, as I remember it.
Well, yeah, yep,
So there's gonna have to be a
I
decision
think
made.
the wording of the bylaw states they appoint one member.
yeah.
I did not bring a copy of that over, but
I mean, the language of a delegate versus a appointed member is same meaning, so that I wouldn't worry about, but, one versus two is the difference, yeah.
So regardless, we should wait.
We should wait for that.
Yeah,
one.
yep, yep.
Yeah,
So the motion today is for Mr. Jaden and Mr. Smith
yep,
to be appointed to the EMS board.
But again, that's not what the agenda said, it only says Bill Schmidt, there's no Jake.
that's in the packet, that's not the
Yeah, the
agenda,
agenda doesn't have a name.
It's just a EMS member.
yeah,
It doesn't say members.
and that's not something that makes the agenda item invalid. The point of the topic is easily conveyed to the public by EMS member versus members, it's the same topic.
If you feel more comfortable, we could put Mr.
We can wait for
Jaden
Jaden
until next
later,
week
too.
and
fine.
That's fine.
with,
I understand.
the others, is that fine with everybody?
That works.
Would you prefer it that way? Okay, I don't really care, but
But we'll do it that way.
yeah,
So today, is there any more discussion on Bill Smith?
You need to amend your motion then.
Yeah,
I'm fine with amending it.
you fine with the second?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Bill Smith is an EMS member. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimous.
Do you want me to do an agenda request for next week or?
Phil, are you gonna touch base with Sway City? Figure that out, yeah.
Will you send me an agenda request for the members?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
I'll do it for both of them.
okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So how do you wanna word that? Do you wanna just tell them they have to have one, or can they have a primary and a delegate? Or a alternate, I guess would be a better word, alternate?
Alternate would probably be a better word,
Delegate, alternate, and then
As long as you understand they only have one voting member.
And they
Yeah.
do, I mean, they stated that this morning, but
Okay.
they just had to appoint two rather than one.
Yeah, designated voting member, something like that, 'cause
As-
that's really where it
Josh,
comes down to, isn't it?
101,
where are we up to?
101,
Okay.
thank you.
Thanks.
See ya.
as long as they know it's one vote, I mean,
Oh, we are up to the Board of Adjustment. Alright, thanks.
Thank you, Jeff.
He's on his way.
Morning. Morning.
You have anything today for public discussion?
No, just, your next item, Jim will not be present, he's fallen ill, so
Oh, no.
he wasn't gonna come down.
Oh, no.
So he would appreciate your approval of that. That's all I really have.
Okay.
Good morning.
He's hiding behind the pole for you.
They like to hide behind the pole, that's okay.
If I sit over there, I can't see Tammy, she looks a lot better than what I do.
Thank you
I
for
didn't even
that.
know he was You're hidden real well, Jake.
You just made my day,
That's
Jay.
Huh, I can't believe that you'd say something derogatory about my looks.
Yeah, but I got everybody to laugh.
You did.
Including you, so it must be alright.
Yeah.
I'd have to agree with him. Although it hurts me terribly.
I got a lot of chairs I could keep moving to the right, Roger. You know, I block all of those. I'm not going any further to the left.
Hi, Matt.
Morning,
Morning,
Mayor.
everyone.
Morning.
Yep, yeah.
Excuse me here, quick, Will. So, 18.7 acres. I think the one side is 14, it's 18.
Okay.
So here's the 5.2, 13.
Okay.
So, and that is 166 bucks. So everything's good on that. Your signature. You wanna read it off? Okay, it's right there. And sign your trucking instructions like this one.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very good, thank you.
But you think that passed? That shouldn't have passed.
Well, you're worried about breaking down, so one.
There you go. I was noticing that last year though, I don't think.
All right.
Yeah.
First thing we have on the agenda is to appoint Jim Heldorfer to the Board of Adjustment.
Yeah, at that last meeting, the board meeting, I discussed that a little bit. I wasn't sure exactly how the language
Right.
read as far as being a member of both the Board of Adjustment and the Zoning Commission. Upon a little bit of research, it's addressed in the comprehensive plan, and it does say at least one member of the Board of Adjustment shall also be a member of the county zoning commission. So I don't think there's any kind of a conflict with that, and I do have a motion, I think it's in your electronic packet, to approve of and appoint Jim Heldorf for Bancroft, Iowa to the Cassuth County Board of Adjustment.
I would make that motion to approve Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jack. Any discussion?
I guess just for the commission and the Board of Adjustment side by side, doesn't the Board of Adjustment make decisions outside of what planning and zoning has approved? Isn't that kind of the nature of it for variances?
Variances, conditional use. So yes, they do, they look at the zoning ordinance and they, if there's reasons, they do grant it.
So you feel it would be good to have two members on both, above and beyond the one, or would that be a conflict since they kind of go against each other in that regard?
I don't think
If there is conflict, they can certainly abstain from voting. I've never encountered, having said that, I've never encountered a situation where the one board member, one zoning commission member felt that there was a conflict with any kind of a Board of Adjustment activity.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, do a roll call vote quickly.
Plath,
Yes.
Nath,
Yes.
Wactor,
Yes.
Stecker,
Yes.
Jerks.
Yes. Motion carried unanimous. Gravel pits, Doug.
Yes, we have, and it is in your, electronic folder. We have, I believe it's 5 gravel pits. There's multiple motions there and a table of all of the leases that we have.
Thank you.
So we have, returned to us, we've had, Dahlhauser, Ag, Dornbeer, Matt, we just took care of, Corey Hagan, Zach Nielsen, and I think it's Dave Blackman. I put a table there that had the, previous 3-year lease and who had that, who the tenant was and who the new tenant, is and what their, rent is. So I prepared separate motions for all of these, approving all of these and authorizing the board chair to sign them.
You care what order we do it in?
I do not.
The first one I got up here is Dahlhauser lease.
As long as both Tammy and I know about it. I
Okay,
think that's the
Whittemore
most
pit.
important thing.
Township 16.
That's over at Whittemore, yes,
Yeah.
south, the Whittemore pits.
I'll make a motion to approve the lease.
Do I have a second on the Whittemore pit?
Second.
Second by Plath. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the lease, please vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. The next one is Matt Dornberg. And he's even sitting here. Hancock County.
No, this is a
No.
McGuire gravel pit. This would be right north of the Irvington gravel pits.
Got the wrong one. Anybody have any questions on it?
I'd make a motion to approve.
Second?
I'll second.
Second by Wactor. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. The next one is Corey Hagan, Fairfield Township, Palo Alto County.
This is the Zeno pit. That's a quarter section there in Palo Alto County.
Anybody have any questions on it? Somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Wactor makes a motion, who seconds?
Jack.
Jack seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Next one is Zachary Nelson, and it's Orthel Township, Hancock County.
That's Monte 2, which is right there by the Hancock County gravel pits, kind of north and west of those.
Any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Plath, second by
Second.
Nat. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. The next one, David Blackwing.
Yeah, this
Oh,
is a
wait,
small area that has some gravel in it and a little bit east of the Zeno pit, the cylinder pit, so. David.
Any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Stecker, second by Carter. Any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. We run out of gravel pits.
Got those taken care of. Okay,
Did we do?
we have not received all
Oh,
of
okay, okay.
the leases yet, Carter. Okay, so I need both Roger and Tammy, and I will be notarizing those.
The McNeese one, at one time, we talked about selling that.
Pardon me?
McNeese one?
Yeah, that, I'm still working and Cody Dornbeer, I need to visit with him also about those, so.
It's like 3 acres.
Of tillable,
Yeah.
yes. Been exhausted. Okay, sorry about that.
The truck looks way too pretty, doesn't it?
That one on the left, looking towards the shop, she looked pretty good.
Here's just if you would like to write down, what bids are.
Thank you.
And on the back is a motion, if we do decide to, sell the piece of equipment. In your folder is a flyer that, was, how we advertised this truck. It is a 2000 Sterling dump truck. It has some problems with it. We're selling it as is, and we received 5 bids on those, so I'll just open them up now.
We don't have any left with straight transmissions anymore?
Pardon me?
There's none left with straight transmissions?
Oh yeah, we have,
Do you?
we do, oh yeah.
Did you get much for questions on this one, or
Uh,
get some
they-
people come and look, or?
I directed them to the mechanic shop, so I was not very involved in it.
Okay, just curious.
This is Ben Strucker, Struecker. And he bid $7,500. Aaron Hunt I should have said Ben is from Titanca, Aaron Hunt is from Renwick. Aaron bid $10,980. Randy Eilerts, he's from Algona. Eilerts.
What was his first name?
Randy.
Oh.
He bid $3,216. Reitzel Excavating, out of Burt. $22,600.
With a big company.
Good.
And Jerry Kay, out of Cylinder.
Who was that, Jerry?
Jerry, yeah. And he bid 5,000. So, Reitzel is the high, I think that's a fair price. So I would recommend that we sell that piece of equipment.
I move we accept Reitzel Excavating bid for $22,600.
Motion by Plath, second by
I'll second it.
Stecker. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous.
All right.
We have nothing in the folder about construction in the right of way.
There is no request for, construction of the road.
Then we would be up to discussion with the county engineer and zoning administrator.
Yes, construction, there to bridge, I would assume that the contractor will be moving on, soon to finish up that guardrail work and complete that, bridge. Today, our asphalt work is being let, we have a project 1 mile from McGregor to 18, P20. Then the Lots Creek Road, and there's a 3 mile section of road right south of Lone Rock, that is being let. We still have 2 open positions in the mechanic shop. We are re-advertising the same way we have, previously. I did talk with Donna about accounts. We do not have any web-based applications. We are not members of anything. There would be a cost with that. And we have not purchased any subscriptions to those.
Did you look in to see what those would cost, by any chance?
I relied on Donna. I guess you'll have to ask her.
I think places like ZipRecruiter and Indeed and.
Yeah, Indeed's the big one I would've thought of, but yeah. Any of that type of stuff.
Uh,
See what they lost.
The end of last week, gravel roads, they were, less than desirable conditions. I drove, over a lot of, many miles of gravel roads, some were in better condition than others, but, yesterday we came in a little bit early, started blading. Today we're gonna blade a little bit later in the afternoon, working a little bit of overtime, trying to get things in shape. My foreman, I did not get an opportunity to drive on any gravel roads yesterday, but, Scott and Bill said things were a lot better yesterday. We still need to amend the secondary road department budget. The Algona Airport expansion, is going to be letting that, project soon. They do have plans. I think they're about ready to go out to bidders for that. And then from zoning, the expenditures in the budget, and I emailed this to you upon request of Supervisor Stecker. We have $1,500 budgeted to expend. We have spent $1,460.44. So we have $39.56 that we can spend, or we'll be over budget. Bills on hand, Bancroft Register is $100.26. Sway City Herald Press is $100.26. Cassuth County Advance is $63.62. And the Algona Reminder is $194.60. My addition quick on that was $458.74. So it is difficult right now to have planning and zoning without an amendment. So I would ask that we get that budget amended. I don't know when you guys believe you will be doing that, but if you could let me know, I'd appreciate it.
You need this amended before having the next
It's,
meeting, or
we can't make expenditures until the budget's amended.
what's that?
Can't publish until you get.
Correct.
I don't know how I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get the $458 paid.
We do need to move forward with our process, and, I mean, somehow we need to keep the ball rolling here. I don't know when are we planning to do,
Well, usually we do it in April,
sure.
so,
I'm just
because,
thinking if we wait till April for the planning and zoning expenses, then it's another however many weeks till we're presented with something from the planning and zoning, and then however many weeks till we,
well, and the
would pass
reason
anything.
we wait till April is because that's the last budget amendment for the year.
Sure.
So we can't do another budget amendment after that. So
Right.
we wait to see how our other departments are doing, because we don't
Yeah, I understand that.
want them to go over either, so that's usually why we wait till April to do it. And plus, we have to post and publish and all that kind of stuff, so by the time we do all that, it's gonna be mid-April. If we do that, and it has to be done by the end of May, so, I mean, we can do it anytime, just keep in mind that if we do it too early,
It'll impact everything.
we don't wanna miss anything. Unless you're gonna do two, unless you're gonna do one now, that we set up now, and then do another one.
Well, that's what I mean,
But that'll make, if we do that, that'll make
3 in a
for the
year.
and this one would be,
This one would be the second one,
right, it would be the second one, but
When did what was the timeline on the first one? When did we do
November, I think.
that? Okay.
can we amend just for planning and zoning and still wait on the other departments, or
You can,
would
but
that be?
it's a lot of
simpler
work
that
and a lot of extra costs,
Sure.
cause you have to have
It'll-
public hearings and publishing and all that.
The
Yeah.
amendment will cost more than what you put in planning
Yeah.
and zoning.
Right, It'll
Okay.
cost more than the $458 is the
Okay.
problem.
Right now, Doug, you can you have another meeting with the planning and zoning commission, but not until that's all, needs to be
I
published?
can't expend any money.
Right,
We need to spend, we still need to pay the members for the last hearing, and I don't know what that's gonna add up to. If somebody came in with a zoning variance this afternoon, those get notice, public notice. It just makes it difficult.
You wanna talk to Elizabeth and see if there's another way that we can do this without
There
that?
isn't.
There isn't, is there?
You have to have a budget amendment in order to do it. The only other thing would be to talk to all department heads and let them know that we're gonna start the last budget amendment of the year, if that's what you wanna do. And that they need to look at their budgets very closely and see if they think they're gonna need to amend it, now, and because there won't, be another time to do it. I mean, that would be the only other option, is just to let everybody know that they need to look at it now and decide if they have enough to make it through.
Well, we'd be 50 days ahead of normal.
I mean, we usually start looking at it now.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have to expedite it quicker, which is fine.
Is that your suggestion, Carter?
well, I don't know if it's a suggestion, but.
I mean, I understand the sense of urgency for the situation here, but I don't wanna negatively impact everything else either. Wish we would've added more to it in November when we did the last one, knowing all this was coming, but don't have much choice at this point, so I don't know. I don't know if everyone will be able to get an accurate enough picture in short order.
Well, it ain't
I
gonna
guess just start the conversations. I mean, there's no harm in starting the conversation on
We
it.
can see where everyone's at this week, and then
Okay.
next week we can take it up from there.
Yeah,
see what the
I'd
sheriff
probably be
is
the
at.
best move of action, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do.
Is there any funds transferable from any departments until the amendment, or that's not possible?
Now, you can go over in a line item, that's fine, as long as you don't go over in service areas. So if he goes over in that line item, but the problem is it's planning and zoning, so that's in itself its own department. So I don't know how many lines are in that department.
Well, they all add up to, all the lines add up to the 14.
So that's the problem, you can't go over that department area or that service area. So by law, you can't do that, so that's why you have to do a budget amendment first. If he had more lines in that budget, then yes, he could transfer within that budget. But because the whole budget is that amount for that department, then
Nowhere else you can transfer to. Right.
It's county government.
yeah, cause I mean, even right now, notices are already over, but it's still within the total.
We'll do what we can do, Doug.
But yeah,
Okay, before Doug leaves. Graded yesterday, take it at 4 o'clock,
mhm.
we're tired of it. We have $60,000 vehicles that we gotta drive to that. Roger knows about it. We filed a written complaint. That's what we got,
Where was the written complaint filed to?
your office. Rodney Gray,
When was it?
last week.
I'm sorry, I didn't,
That's not the only spot. There's 3 to 5 spots in the mine. 390th Street.
I was on it
Section
last
one.
week. I drove on it.
We're gonna get sand or we're gonna get rock.
I don't know, Jay.
Roger, comment?
Well, yours isn't the only complaint. I mean,
I don't give a rat's ass about everybody else's. I wanna know what's gonna be done with mine. If I fix it, I'm gonna maintain it, and I'm gonna do it the way I wanna do it. And it's gonna be done.
There's a lot of roads that have issues, Jay. I hear.
I've been on just as many as Miller's been on. I've listened to a lot of complaints in northern Germany. It's time to get something done. Everybody says it takes a lot of dollars. You know my lane's not short. In the last 40 years, I've never put a full load of rock on it at one time. I micromanaged it. I got some more sports. You guys got some more sports. But I don't go through my lane, I go through the road. He graded it yesterday, I was through it already this morning. Every one of those 5 spots, you just about hit your head on the steering wheel. So it's time to do something. 30 years ago, I was hauling hogs. I had it run it up a foot deep in one spot. They brought me a load of rock, I could take you to that spot this day, and that's the hard spot on the road. When you're out west and you come down through the mountains and your brakes fail on the semi, what do? They got a brake run. What's in the brake run? Sand. Sand stops you. Sand is not a packer unless it has rock with it. You guys do what you want to do. My last proposal is, neighbor and I talked about it. If you send a truck and the man and furnace and fuel, we'll pay for the road stuff. Too low. I'll leave it at that. Think about it. You wouldn't be driving around with your $70,000 vehicle and bottoming out all the time either and put up with it, so go from there. Winnebago County's been there all year, 3 times to 1 on their roads. Plowing snow, grading, it's 3 times to 1. Yeah, they probably got some more money, but they're using it. And they've graded my lane from the east all the time. You guys dumped that load of glorified sand on that spot to the east. But thank God there's rock to the east and it's got mixed in with it, it's coming along pretty good. If I had to go west all the time, I'd have been here 3 weeks ago, but I thought I'd let everybody else do it. So, see what you can do, like I said, but if we foot the bill, we're gonna put it where we want it. Go from there. My phone's ringing, I'm leaving it.
Thanks.
Hello?
I'll only say I do not believe I've received anything from Rodney Gray. I will be checking on that when I go back down to the office.
I had a telephone call for Rodney.
Well, I understood it to be a written complaint, is what I understood it to be.
That's what he said.
Doug has a guy called Burton from DOT, he wants to look at their road 18 going back to their shed out here. He says this is pretty rough. He wants to look at it.
I mean, yeah, I'll talk with him.
Okay, I just told him I'd pass it on to you.
Thank you.
Like I had a message last week. He says, he actually was chuckling, he says, tell Doug we want to paint.
It's a city road.
Oh, it is. So I told him I didn't know. I didn't know if it was.
I mean, there's parts of it that are city, there's parts of it that are
Yeah,
county.
well, that's what I told him, it's kind of a tricky area. I wasn't sure until I talked to you whether it was city or county road.
If the state wants it, they
He said,
they can make arrangements to take over it too. So.
he said you guys, I think he said the county.
We do,
Cleaned it or whatever.
we do, but
But it is.
it is, I mean, just that airport area, there was action by the city council, and there was action by the Sioux County Board of Supervisors. Because portions of that road are city, portions of that road are county.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I thought, I kind of mixed it.
Part of it is annexed into the city limits.
Right. Anyway, I told my mention it to you.
All right, thank you.
Anything else for Doug? it might be my suggestion that you have the operators in every township put a map on in their maintainers when they're maintaining and write down some of the spots that are black.
They do.
Yeah,
They have maps.
and, you know, do something, that was my suggestion to Mr.
We
Gray
are-
too.
We're working on it.
Yeah,
We're
but I
trying.
mean, I know,
So,
so that we get something where we need it the worst. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
thanks.
You wanna take a break or finish?
We only got a couple things.
Marge is here, let's do it, yeah.
Clerk for Sherman Township, we have a person that's been appointed. Alice
Yeah.
Birdie,
We have to do the appointee.
Mary Birdie.
we're gonna do the appointing, we have an appointee, I should have
There
said
you go.
on the list.
There you go.
I'll move to appoint Mary Birdie as township clerk for Sherman Township.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Carter and Wactor, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimous. Cresco Township. We have Wade Eisenbarth. Is that close?
I think so. That's what I would have said.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve, to appoint him.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are up to discussion with our auditor.
Okay, so this morning I also emailed you a copy of the budget that was sent to Department of Management yesterday. Harmax tax levy will be in the paper on Thursday and in Algona and Wednesday in Bancroft and Surrey City. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. April 4th is the date that is set for a max tax levy hearing. After that max tax levy, if everything is approved, we'll set the date for the budget hearing, which I have proposed for April 25th at 8:30. I am in the process of getting Adam in the engineer's office all the information. He helps put together the charts and data for the budget presentation, so I'm working on getting that to him. Our election audit went great, so we're done and finalized with that. So right now we're working on finishing up everything, and then we'll get started on the budget amendments, and I'll send out an email to all the department heads so we can see where they're at with that, see if we can get a fill. At the end of every month, Melissa sends out reports to all the departments so they can look at where they are for their fund status. And then I look at all of them too, to see how we're sitting for each thing. So they should have a good feel of where they're at. They'll just have to kind of know. The only bad thing is if something happens that they weren't expecting, but, at this point, we're March, almost April, so we're close to being finished with the year, so hopefully they'll have a decent idea of where they're sitting. So, and I will double check with Elizabeth and see, if there's anything we can do in the meantime, if he needs to have a meeting, but I'll double check with her just to see, but I don't know of anything, but, let's see what else. I think that's all that I have.
Jack,
Oh, just, did everybody else get that email from Nancy here saying about signing the eminent domain? I couldn't open it up. I didn't know if anybody else opened it.
When did that come in?
a week ago,
It says Sunday,
That was a few days ago.
I tried to open it too and it wouldn't
but I
open.
can't open it.
I couldn't either.
I was able to open
You got it open?
it.
I went on
Might have been the one that broke it
it.
then.
It says open with Microsoft Edge or default browser. When I go on default browser, it doesn't open.
I don't know.
Does that show that I was listed? Cause I only got one email on Sunday.
Do you have Microsoft Edge on that machine?
Well, they got
Yeah.
different,
You got a different.
yeah, than our iPads. They could probably open it, cause they got Microsoft
But
on,
it
we
was in
don't.
a Google Docs form.
So we don't have Google
Oh,
Docs.
was it?
It was, yeah. So,
I couldn't open it, just curious whether anybody else
Did you
got
get
it.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm in it right now.
oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, you have it open.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you go back to the?
You probably don't have Microsoft Edge on there. If you select default browser,
I did.
Oh,
did.
yeah, I didn't get that.
It doesn't, it won't open, it says can't open.
That was this
Hard.
Yeah,
I
I did not get
Two
it.
numbers come out
no,
the
so
same,
he's in.
minus
Just
I didn't-
3.5 and 3.5 increase.
Just had to try it again.
I didn't, I guess, I don't know.
I'm
It
just
just
curious
works
how
out
that works.
way.
Did you guys sign it, send it back to her?
It doesn't go to Nancy, it goes to the state, like to be presented at the state house, to the legislature to go over. So,
You can't sign it on here, you have to print it off and.
no, you can.
You'd have to
Well,
mail it in.
No, iPads might not be able to,
No, you put your county and then your name.
unless is it a fillable form?
It's
Yep,
Oh, okay.
yep, so you don't have to fill in that, where it says sincerely.
Well, I don't have a problem, I mean, I'm against that eminent domain, so I don't have a problem signing it.
Right. But it'll fill in, if you fill out those 3 line items there, then,
There should be a submit button.
yeah, click submit and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll send it, I guess I'll sign it and send it, cause I don't have a problem.
Anything else, Jack?
No, that was it, I just wanna know if anybody else.
Carter?
I had wellness committee meeting last Wednesday morning. I guess we're going to be changing our meeting times every month. Donna has a conflict every other month, so we have 2 different times depending on the month. So we're gonna be having it the first Wednesday of every month now at 8:30 in the morning, and that just consistently, so, but other than that, they were talking about, doing another picnic this summer and possibly having us grill and, you know, having a county picnic, so. The weather was not nice enough to go walk around Smith Lake last week, so that was about all from that. I did attend a meeting with some other supervisors from other states, south of North Dakota, in regards to the carbon pipeline, and, presented with some food for thought, some things to check out with Todd to see what his initial thoughts are on a couple chapters of the Iowa code, and, so I need to visit with him in the coming week about that. Other than that, that's all I have.
Mr. White?
I actually had a quiet week. Believe it or not. I did not have any meetings, so
Oh,
just had
good.
some conversations with some different people, so that's about that.
Kyle?
I did not have any meetings, got juvenile detention this Friday, but, lot of calls and stuff, especially about the roads, kinda normal business in that regard.
You wanna talk about Saturday, or?
Yeah, we had the legislative forum on Saturday. There was kinda 2 parts to it. There was the normal main part for everyone in the public, and then there was also a meeting set up for elected and appointed officials afterwards with the same, representatives. And during both times, I thought we had some good conversations. There was discussions about a number of bills in front of them right now, and some that have already been passed and set, but,
Who was there for representatives?
Henry Stone was not, oh, yeah, for us, it was me and Roger and Carter. Henry Stone was sick that morning, so he was not able to make it, but John Wills was there this time, which he was not last time. And Dave Rowley was there again, so we had the two of them, one for House and one for Senate. Yeah, had good conversation, but property taxes was a big conversation. And one of the comments made by Wills was that this property tax bill is not necessarily targeted at counties like us, it's other counties that are mismanaging things, for lack of better words.
They bought a Polk County lot.
Well, yeah, you can say that. And in response to that, I had brought up juvenile detention reimbursement by the state, because if they want to target cities or counties that are basically spending a blank check, said Polk County would be a prime example because their detention facility runs less bed days in a year than us and gets reimbursed twice as much as we do from the state because they spend more money. So they just spend more because they know they'll get more back. And I mean, we're basically punished for running efficiently. And he said, if you want to target certain counties, have at it with something like that. And I don't know if we're getting traction on that this year, but we are getting some traction on the reimbursement side of detention in general. Nothing is set in stone, but had several good conversations with legislators, and I think if all goes as I would hope and expect, it looks like we should get some increases in funding in that regard, which will help our detention center, which then in turn helps all the counties that are members of it, so that's positive traction.
You should have. Now, if you don't get it this year, you never will because of the way the setup is in the House and the Senate.
I think
we have a chance.
I think we've got a fighting chance this year, and there's been several good conversations, and having John Wills and Henry Stone in the leadership positions they're in, I think that will help. I've visited with both of them about it. So
Before it was always Polk County that always threw the monkey wrench in getting anything close to having equal share of the dollars that the state spends.
yeah, well, we might have to try and address that next year, but if we get the funding as a whole, the biggest piece to that is all the counties and all detention centers and everything should be supportive of it because it's affecting everyone in a positive manner. It's, if someone else is losing funding, they'd be the ones who'd be opposing it, but we got a positive fighting chance this year at least, so I think that's about all I got.
Wednesday I went to Des Moines and I did talk to Stone on Wednesday, and he said he was gonna take it into consideration, our issues on taxing, and they're limiting our taxing, and I explained to him that what you're doing is probably going to shift tax from getting rid of supplement, it's gonna shift tax from everybody to the rural.
Yeah, and I
said Farm Bureau's not gonna like it, they're supporting it in the beginning, but they don't understand what they're supporting.
I told him that exact same sentence when I was in his office.
Yeah, and I talked to Senator Gove and Senator Brown and House Representative Thompson. One more and I forgot now, but all with the same issue, be careful what you do, you know. And the other thing I told them is, you know, the cure for too many Republicans in Des Moines is too many Republicans in Des Moines, and you start goofing everything up, you will lose your majority, cause it happened before, it'll happen again. And, then like he said, Saturday we had a good conversation about taxes. The cities were there well represented, and I think it was a good conversation. I think they understand it, but they don't wanna, they wanna do something to lower property taxes, is what I got out of it, I don't know what you thought. But they don't wanna
Just
touch,
a bit,
they don't
yeah.
wanna touch hospitals, they don't wanna touch
Right.
schools, and they don't wanna touch anything that,
Right.
they just wanna touch the county share. And so, like, we get from the cities is 16%. They took it all away, it still wouldn't make a big difference in the county budget. So they're gonna have a hard time.
Probably because the amount of emails that they get from county supervisors is hardly noticeable compared to the emails they get for education.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or anything else.
yeah,
Stamp the front.
I think that's where we can make more of an impact, is being more engaged with them, because they're not gonna know how it impacts us unless we tell them.
Yeah.
They just, no one
Well-
else is gonna say it.
I think they understand the issue, but they really don't understand how to address it.
That's part of it.
They definitely see something needs to change, something needs to be fixed,
Yeah,
something needs to
But-
happen, they're just not sure how to.
they're really, I'm gonna say they'd rather just do something to the counties because it's easier than to address anything in the school budget or the hospital budget or,
Community colleges.
yeah, our extension council.
Yeah.
You're the easiest devil to
Yeah,
address. Anybody have anything to come before the good of Cassuth County? Anybody got any suggestions on roads?
If I did, I'd have said.
you know, I know rock's more expensive, but when you look at, the cost of hauling, the cost of new trucks, fuel, everything that goes into actually delivering that product, I'm not saying we can rock every road by any means, but there's definitely spots that would benefit from some level of rock rather than pouring gravel on them constantly, in my opinion.
I mean, what do you
There's-
think of what Jay was saying as far as?
Well, actually what he said was rather interesting because, I don't remember the engineer's name that was presenting at the spring conference, no, this is tourism pictures, let me find it. Jacob Thorius, Washington County Engineer. And one of the things he talked about was public-private partnerships. And he said him and his office have worked extensively on, communication in general with individuals, businesses, etc. that are out in the county, and some have been rock projects to stabilize gravel roads. Some of them had been paving projects for bigger companies that wanted a paved road instead of a gravel road or such like that, and having a cost sharing type agreement, so it's not all a tax burden. And
Well, that's certainly happened here in the past, the long ago past. I mean, it's why some of the blacktop roads are there. You think of the one north of Sexton, just ends because Grant's family back in the day wanted to blacktop out their house. So,
yeah. So that might be something we could explore more. I mean, we had an offer today, if we haul the material, they'll pay for it. I mean, that's probably a small example, but I don't know if that's something we can work on and explore a little more, because I mean, we can't just throw $1 million at it, and in tax dollars, we gotta be responsible in that regard, so.
I'm think there are areas where rock would help, where we got black dirt showing through now.
Well, and there's,
But it is difference between $3 and $11 a ton. I don't know if the hauling would be a lot different.
well, your hauling would probably be the same, but you'd haul it once instead of 5 times maybe for the same section of road. I mean, there's a frost boil about a mile south of my place that was bad in 19 or 20, whatever year it was, I believe. And it got tore up by some heavy semi-traffic and it was in rough shape for a while, but they put a load of rock in there, and this spring, that area never moved a bit. I mean, it was solid as with all the weather we had, the rain, the snow, the freezing thawing, never left a track in that area where the rock was. So, I'm not, and that was spread thick, and it took a while to get worked into the surface, so I don't know that we need to bury it on everything, but I think if we can get out there earlier, and if we can do a thinner rate, we could go farther, but if you get out there earlier, it'll support it more, so then you don't actually bust through the crust instead of, riding up on top.
I don't know, they're trying to build a hog set up in one of your area up north, and they're gonna ruin that road. They've already got
Yeah,
it ruined.
Brian was talking about that.
They've already got it ruined, they're just gonna make it worse. It's a no maintenance road to begin with.
And that's something where the hog companies, like Doug's talked about, the taxes those buildings pay. Maybe some of those companies, like, they were just pulled out a feed truck by Bancroft.
Yeah.
Some of them, if they're having issues getting products to their sites, maybe the companies would step in and say, we'll pay for the rock if you guys haul it and work it in. I mean, that'd be probably one of the first places I would look, would be Smithfield and Christensen and some of those others that have, that have service, that they need those roads and they depend on them, and they're hauling heavy loads all the time. I mean, I think that would be a great place to start, but
Tammy, why aren't we getting these credit card statements before the meeting?
She forgot to bring them, it's Brittany's,
This happens almost all the time.
I will talk to
These
her.
have to come in before we approve them.
Okay.
Okay?
well, they're all
in the
on your
packet.
iPad.
Yeah,
They're
they're-
already listed, they don't show all the individual stuff they do.
no, but you don't see that usually till after you've made the motion and passed it anyway.
Cause I mean, like here there's, they bought $83 worth of donuts again for a house fire. I don't know if that's really kosher or not.
It's kinda what they do always.
That was under emergency management.
Yeah,
For a house fire.
they do
It
that for
would-
the,
It would be for the personnel and stuff
I
on the
do it
scene,
just
I'm
for the
sure.
firemen that are at the scene. Yeah,
And then there was a computer bought, a laptop computer. Is that supposed to be done through Derek?
Who is that from?
That's for next fiscal year, that budget's changed.
Yeah,
So for now, if they had something to replace,
It's
it's
still in
probably,
their budgets, yeah.
it's part of the plan, so yeah, that would,
It was $1,069 computer bought.
from what department, Jack?
is that also under emergency management?
I'm trying to find where it says on here who it's
I think it
for.
was. Wasn't that through our EMS or emergency management? Which one of them wanted a new computer?
Yeah, all of those are,
It's probably,
all of those are listed on
County
the claims
Conservation
in your
Board,
packets, so.
County Conservation.
County Conservation? They got their own board.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have their own,
and for the stuff through Derek, that's not changing till next fiscal year anyway. And I don't know if they're included in that or not, I think they might be, but I'm not
I
sure.
don't know about that either.
But I'd like to see these before the meetings that always come in.
Okay.
Like, later today.
Well, years ago, we used to get them before the meeting started and look through them.
Right. That's
We're not
right.
supposed to do that.
And we're not supposed to do that.
I
So,
mean, they're credit cards, we really need to watch it. We have trouble, that's years ago, we're not paying attention to them.
don't forget, the 4th, we have our budget hearing for the budget.
Max tax.
levy.
Yeah,
What time is that?
8:30.
It's during the regular board meeting.
Yeah.
In case anybody asks.
Yep.
People have asked me how much more money we're gonna collect. I tell them actually we're gonna lower the rural services.
Well, that's just on our levy, but yeah,
But the other one's going up 3.5, which is,
yeah, if you look at the total taxes, it's actually going up quite a bit, and part of that is
more to
EMS.
assess. Yeah,
Well, yeah, part of it's EMS and which was voted on.
6% of it.
yep,
Yeah. Yeah, I have,
quite a bit of
I got
it is. Have you got anything from the hospital yet?
Yes, they brought their budget in yesterday, but, I have not had a chance to certify it yet.
Okay, so they're asking you, you don't know they're asking.
No, no, I do not.
Anything else on the budget or anything?
a point for the budget with the, discussion we had on Saturday. We were one of the very few counties in the state that actually lowered our taxes when the mental health levy came off.
Yeah.
So you can see that in the numbers for all of us that have it on our computers here. Between 21 and 22, well, 22 actuals was 9.484, 23 was 9.443, so me and Tammy were talking yesterday, we looked it up, mental health was about 300,000 ballpark.
Just shy, yeah.
So our increase was a little bit less than that actually so that went away and then some kind of filled its place, but now we'll have all the stuff we're dealing with plus EMS that was voted on and all that, so there'll be a significant jump in taxes for this year.
And Kyle, after we talked yesterday, did a little bit more looking, we also had the, health insurance on
Oh.
top of that too, so that
Yep.
made a little bit of difference.
Yep.
So. Cause we didn't have those rates yet.
Yeah, but yeah, just food for thought that we were one of the few that actually did
Oh, Tammy,
take that out of the budget to some extent.
not Raleigh Wills wants to send out postcards to every person that has property and tell them about our public hearing.
If we're raising more than 3%,
Yeah. That's-
be a postcard to every property owner.
He's gonna send that, or he wants us to send?
No, that's gonna be in law for us to send it.
I knew that you'd
It's-
really
Does
appreciate
does he
that.
know we already have to publish it in the paper?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
law
Yep.
says we
Sign
already
up.
have to do that?
not
Yep.
enough.
Yeah, no, the new one is a postcard to everyone.
Did you
But
tell
he's-
him why does the state send out a postcard every time they do something stupid?
You could have told him that if you were there.
Did you ask him
We'd be
how
sending out postcards
we're gonna pay
stacks
for
this
that,
thick
if he's
every
already
week.
cutting
They
our
should.
budget?
They should.
We're already,
I asked if he realized there's a cost to that, and he said yes.
He said it was worth it. I think that was his comment,
Yeah.
you know, he said it'd be worth the cost.
And I did follow up saying I don't disagree with more information is better, but I followed that up with the limits on our, tax, and I said you might wanna consider that, so.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it'll get considered, but that's the proposal
but if
Be
the,
spending more tax dollars to tell people about the tax dollars.
that we're spending.
That we're
Yeah.
spending.
if the legislation goes through, we can't grow more than 2.5% anyway, so it's not gonna matter.
No. No,
It's,
you know,
I would say it's not far from being finished, but it's not close to being finished either, so I think there'll still be some substantial discussions about it, but.
well, I think no matter what happens, they're gonna have discussion on property taxes, and it's all gonna come back to the county share of the property taxes. That's what I got out of it. I don't know if anybody disagrees with that.
That'd be pretty close. That's about the only thing they're gonna try and affect.
Which, then they're gonna do away with income tax in the state because they have too much money, but they're worried that the county's spending.
I mean, you remember when I highlighted that their budget is looking good because they pass all the stuff down to us to do?
Yep. Yeah, Oh well, anything else come for the good of Cassuth County, other than our irritation with the state legislators? Them roads? Nope. I would-
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Josh.
Whacker,
I'll second.
Stacker, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
9:30.
Wow.
On the dot.
Um,
Now let's do a break before IT.